beautiful life.
สวัสดีครับ Good afternoon and welcome to A Beautiful Life on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. My name is อาจารย์เกษม พุทธเรืองศรี your host for the program. A Beautiful Life is a program broadcasted every Monday from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Articles and information about life lessons or good phrases from the books or website will be presented in this program, together with the latest news from ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร for you to enjoy. Today we start with the article from China News Asia. They talk about what do Beyonce and Blackpink eat while touring. Meet the chefs who feed music megastars on the road. Today's music artists travel with an elaborate entourage to culinary professionals making increasingly mindful meals. In China News Asia, they said in Stockholm, it was the cookies, the black sesame, wasabi, and white chocolate, or maybe the gluten-free coconut almond dark chocolate, which signaled to Beyonce's dancers, Clue and Rhodes that Great Bird was back. Bird is an English pastry chef and one of 14 culinary professionals on Beyonce's current Renaissance World Tour, which was also employed a vegan chef and 3 personal chefs just for Queen Bee and her inner circle. After getting COVID during rehearsals in Paris, Bird had to take a week-long break, leaving the desserts duty for the 400 to 600 crew members to 2 substitute chefs. By then, the crew has gotten used to his lavish desserts, which often feature a dozen different offerings at both lunch and dinner. A pared down sweet menu spoke to his absence. So when the crew once again saw his signature spread of hundreds of cookies in several varieties, they know he had returned it. That was lunch, and the whole dining room applauded, said Bird, who has also cooked for Carrie Underwood, Justin Bieber, and Motley Crue. They just thought he's got to be back because he just knew from the style. Yes, Beyonce is one of the world's biggest stars, but traveling with a cadre of chefs isn't just a flex. Many touring artists now take several professional cooks, not to mention entire mobile kitchens on the road with them for efficiency, health, and morale. Before, back in the early 80s and 90s, it was more of a party, cocaine and whatever they wanted, and now it's just a business, said Gary Rowland, Linkin Park's longtime chef, who has also cooked on tour for Prince, Madonna, and Tori Amos. We have one job to do, he said, and that job is to put the talent on stage, make sure that the show goes flawlessly, and then do it again the next day. Talking about the 2014 tour by Linkin Park and 30 Seconds to Mars, he added it was called the Carnival Tour, but 14 of the 16 guides we cooked for were vegan. James Dickboy and a veteran tour manager who had just finished working the European Lake of Avril Lavigne's tour is familiar with such demand. You cannot get a non-vegetarian meal on in catering on a Paul McCartney tour. That's challenge because most roadie I know are carnivore. Digby said if the artist is trying to change the world one tour at a time by saying everybody's vegetarian, my job is to echo that. Regardless of the cuisine, the production demands are significant. The industry standard for a sizable tour required full meals on setup and show days, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the after concert meal, often eaten on a bus. An army marches on its stomach. So you have got to feed the troops. Digby said by troops he meant the band and the backup singers and dancers, stage builders, the pyrotechnics crew, security guards, managers, bus driver, and all the other people involved in the high-stake business on offline environment. At the recent Lizzo show at Acrisure Arena in Palm Desert, California, launch featured a juicing station with a blender ready basket of vegetables. There were corn dogs, fried chicken sandwiches, and plant-based impossible slider, as well as couscous, squash, carrots, and cookies. It was all prepared in the arena's kitchen. Normally, however, Latitude 45, the company in charge of culinary operations for the vegan artist's special tour, cooks in an elaborate mobile kitchen that packed into specialized freight cases and is resembled in each new city. So HSG Catering, a Chicago-based company currently working on Eric Church tours, use a 53-foot mobile kitchen containing a walk-in freezer, a walk-in cooler, and an 80-gallon water heater. The unit is also equipped with a meat smoker, a wood-fire grill, convection ovens, and a machine that can survive for 300 steak at once, said Bob Sinneberger, HSG president. While chefs sometimes accompany artists on private jets or in armored cars with police escorts, cooking and baking on the road can also put them in generator power, making chef kitchens in field or parking lots. Mitchell say the job called for a particular type of person who enjoys troubleshooting and being constantly on the move and who can endure sleeping on tour buses for months at a time. The conditions cultivate a fraternity of sorts. Many chefs proudly wear t-shirts from private tours. There's also a royal food taster aspect to the gig. One case of food poisoning and you are canceling show for at least 48 hours, Digby said, Astro because bigger spectacles and tickets price soar even higher An incident like that can put millions of dollars at risk. Bird, who cooked for K-pop group Blackpink in Chicago last summer, said the band brought a separate truck just to transport its flavor blends of instant ramen noodles. Like some other caterers who have worked with K-pop tour, Bird was impressed by, with an emphasis put on the culinary operations, which always include a Korean buffet with so many different food stations and stuff. He said, "I've never seen that before." As for Beyonce, Bird sent fruit platters and cookies to her dressing room, and while he couldn't say for sure that the pop star's favorite or he did not know, as far as I am aware, the one and that are particularly eaten are the Reed's Cup cookies, a specialty of Birds that have a vanilla base with Belgian milk chocolate and bits of Reese's peanut butter cups flat throughout. In addition to having his confections in high demand, Bird was touched to see his name in the online credits for the Renaissance tour. At the end of the show, they normally give recognitions to the lighting and startling and people a lot closer to them, said Bird, who is currently touring with country singers Sam Hunt, but they never mentioned that they travel with us catering. So you can read more from Channel News Asia, and the article originally appeared in the New York Times. So you can take a look more at Channel News Asia, and we'll be right back after a short break. You are listening to A Beautiful Life on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. We are back to the article about heat affects older people more. Here's how to stay safe. From Channel News Asia, they said, if you are over 65 or know someone who is, it's important to take high temperatures seriously. From Channel News Asia, they said we are experiencing the hottest days in history. Heat waves have blanketed the northern hemisphere this week, with temperature reaching 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 37.7 degrees Celsius on 3 continents. Extreme heat can be deadly for anyone, but older adults are uniquely vulnerable. In the heat wave that suffocated Europe in the summer of 2022, people aged 65 and older accounted for approximately 90% of heat-related deaths. Experts say that 3 factors combine to increase older adults' risks. The first one, biological changes that occur naturally with age. Next, higher rates of age-related chronic disease. And finally, greater use of medications that can alter the body's response to heat. So here's how to guard the risks for a heat-related illness for you or a loved one, and how to stay safe. The first one, they say how heat attacks an aging body. The human body has two main mechanisms to cool itself: sweating and increasing blood flow to the skin. In older adults, those processes are compromised. They sweat less and they have poor circulation compared with younger adults. Because older individuals are not able to release the heat as well, their core temperature goes up faster and higher, said Craig Crandell, a professional of internal medicine specialist in thermoregulation at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center. And we know that core temperature is the primary driver for heat-related injury and death. These changes don't suddenly emerge with someone reach 65. They start gradually in middle age, said Glenn Glennie, a professor at psychology at University of Ottawa. It's a slow decline, he said, but you start to see noticeable difference by age of 60, no question. Chronic conditions that are more common in old age, most notably cardiovascular disease and diabetes, can exacerbate these issues, and disease heart isn't able to pump as much blood, further reducing blood flow to the skin. And if nerves become affected in people with severe diabetes, the body might not receive the message that is needs to start sweating. Younger people with this condition are also at a high end risk for heat-related problems. As people age, they also stop feeling as thirsty, and so they tend to drink less in hot conditions. That can cause them to become dehydrated faster, which is hugely detrimental for temperature control, Dr. Crandall said. In addition, Some older adults, particularly if they have some form of dementia or cognitive decline, may not perceive temperature changes as well. As a result, they won't respond appropriately to heat, both biologically through sweating and behaviorally by moving to some place cool. Finally, certain medications can affect people's hydration, blood flow, and even the sweat response. So be sure to ask your doctor about any medications you taking. Of course, not everyone the same age responds to heat in the same way. Older adults who are physically fit and typically more resilient, Dr. Crandall said, because they have better blood flow and they sweat more than their sedentary periods. So, how to stay safe is the next question. People often think they that heat need to be extreme, say over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, to cause illness. But in older adults, signs of heat exhaustion can emerge when temperatures are as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 26.7 degrees Celsius. 20 years old can go out in 80-degree weather from hour and generally be okay, said Dr. Angela Primbas, a generetician at UCLA Health. That is not true for older adults. Physical exhaustion increases a person's risk to his for heat illness because the body starts to generate even more heat on hot days. Dr. Primbus said older adults and people with serious health conditions should limit outdoor activity like walking and gardening in the cooler morning and evenings. Take frequent breaks and drink plenty of water. Listen to your body too. If the activity starts to feel harder than normal, that's a signal to stop and find a place to cool down. Signs of dehydration or heat exhaustion include dizziness, lightheadedness, headache, a racing heart, or feeling lethargic, low energy if someone is not taking or interesting as much as usual. It's especially important to watch out for in people with cognitive impairment who may not realize how hot they are or be able to express it. While older adults face unique challenge when it comes to heat, the way to cool down are the same for any age. If you are a loved one started to experience with any of the above symptoms, the best thing you can do is to go somewhere that has air conditioning. Dr. Kenny said the indoor temperature doesn't have to be sub-zero. He said just aim for 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius or below if air conditioning isn't available in the home. Check if there's a local cooling center. In the absence of air conditioner, water is extremely helpful in reducing our risks for heat-related injury. Dr. Crandall said he advised rubbing at an ice cube over your skin, spraying yourself with cool water, drenching your shirt, or taking a cool shower or bath. Whatever you do to take heat seriously, it's the number one cause of weather the related dates in United States, and many of those fatalities are preventable. So you can read more from Channel News Asia, and the article originally appeared in the New York Times also. Before we end our program today, we have one news from Rajamongkol University of Technology พระนคร moving forward to achieve the world's Green University Standards UI Green Matrix World University Ranking ดร.นัทวรพล รัตน์สิริวัชรบุญ President of ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร visit and workshop on UI Green Matrix World University Ranking and strategies to drive university with quality and international standards, which was held between the 5th and the 6th of July 2023 at the Hotel Aitara Resort and Spa, Phetchaburi Province, along with leading team of university administrators to listen to a lecture on topic of UI Green Matrix World University Ranking by Assistant Professor Dr. Nisa Phakvilai, Dean of Faculty of Science and Technology ราชภัฏวลัยอลงกรณ์ในพระบรมราชูปถัมภ์ University recommended the planning and operation guidelines under 6 indicators, namely location and infrastructure, energy and climate change, waste management, water management, transportation management, including management of education and research. ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร Administrator are preparing to apply the knowledge and guidelines that have been shared to bring the university to international standards according to the criteria for environmental standards and sustainable development. In addition, ราชมงคล University of Technology พระนคร Administrator participated in a study visit about Green and Clean University at Phetchaburi Rajabhat University by being honored by Assistant Professor Vichian Khemngan, Vice President for Planning and Development, and Assistant Professor Dr. Kitinan Bunrod, together with the working group on Green University, gave a lecture and guided the site visit. In this regard, the president of Rajamongkol University of Technology พระนคร believed that being assessed for international standard in various fields can help reflect strengths, weakness, opportunities, and obstacles in university development. It can also be used to build confidence through publicizing the university to society. And the time is up for today. A Beautiful Life. Please join us on every Monday here on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. Your host has been อาจารย์เกษม พุทธเรืองศรี You are welcome to subscribe our channel on englishonline.rmutp.ac.th. Thank you very much for joining our program today and see you again next Monday. สวัสดีครับ
Beautiful Life will be back again next Monday.